The ITER Show is executive produced by CQB, hosted by Tartarus, and sponsored by SC, Bradley's Pizzeria, ITER Asylum, and any other ITER-affiliated business. This broadcast may not be taken, redistributed, or used without the express written consent of ITER. ITER, go gold! And just before we start today's video, I want to introduce our brand new documentary, Sky City Gold. It'll be narrated by Tar and around like 30 minutes long. It's gonna summarize all of Sky City history up to this point. So, pretty cool. It shouldn't delay interviews weekly, but, we'll see. Also, Will, if you're watching this, sorry about your commercial.
Welcome to the Reviews SSMC. I am Tartarus, and today I'm joined by our guest, SCsoulja.
Hello.
Okay, welcome to the show. Let's start with the economy, because I know a lot of people are asking, and it's kind of up in the air. I've been hearing that the new currency is going to be shards. Why should we use this instead of what we already have?
Because the main reason why we're using shards is because the old currency is too, let's just say, out there. It's too much duped. Like too many showers that are duped, which I will get to in a sec. There's too many showers that are duped full of just a whole bunch of the old currency. So to get rid of all the inflation, we kind of just said, you know what, we're gonna do away with the old currency.
Okay. And then, which shards are going to be represented by how much, value?
Well, we have a person dedicated to doing that, aka chanting, but I can actually read out the current values that we going to use. The values that we're going to be using are $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, $10, $50, and $100 in shards, in different types of shards.
Okay. So, by shards, you're talking, are we talking, the pottery shards or, amethyst shards and all sorts of other stuff?
We're talking about artery shards because all of them have different emblems on them. It'll be hard to duplicate these.
Yeah. Okay. And I've also, it's a little bit of a rumor mill type thing, but I've been hearing there's going to be taxes.
Yes, taxes are going to be in a foreseeable future, mainly because this is a working economy. We need taxes to actually fund government funding and all that, wackiness,
Yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Most governments don't work if they don't have taxes.
Exactly.
So with the economy, I've been in one of our previous interviews, the project of the mall has been brought up. Is that going to be something that fuels the economy, or just another way for the government to get tax dollars?
That's actually, the mall is going to be not only, I won't say it will just give the government tax dollars, but it's gonna fuel the economy because it's gonna be a main hub for actual blocks and different things to be actually traded and bought and sold. So it's not just for government tax funding and all that.
Would you like an interview?
It's not all about, the tax dollars. It's about trying to fuel the economy in a more stable manner.
Okay. And since we're talking about the economy, just to wrap up this topic, with all the tax dollars from the mall and all, how is it going to get put back into the mainstream, like other businesses and stuff?
Okay. So to keep it nice and simple, this is how it's gonna work. Like the mall is gonna be the main source of blocks and more main items that gonna be sold, but businesses that want to participate in selling these certain items can buy permits from the quote unquote government that we have in place, and the people who are in charge of the mall, they'll get a permit, and the mall will take down their item in the mall, and that person who bought the permit to sell that would just get it shipped right to their door from the mall. So the mall won't be able to sell it no more, but the person who bought the permit for to sell that stuff will be able to sell it. And with that being said, a lot of people can buy the same permit, so it will be actually contested. People will actually have to contest different, businesses to make it more, a better little economy. You got to have rivalries and competition.
Okay. And to wrap up the economy, let's talk about our sponsor.
Don't you just love the delicious taste of a home-baked cookie? Or what about a tasty cake right out of the crafting table? Well, here at Will Industries, we're here to supply your mouth with hundreds of exquisite pastries and baked goods at amazing efficiency. Our health and safety standards will meet everyone's expectations with 100% pure products and 101% good taste. Room for deviation, 1%. Now everyone wants a taste. Wondering how to get refined tasty treats? Head on over to ITER Bakery or just call us up at Will Inc. 4788. That's Will Inc. 4788. Buy now or you'll miss the chance.
That's not so difficult to.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay. So, with the government system being up in the air, like with you being the new owner, of course,
Yeah.
plan on putting someone else as the president or putting yourself as the president?
Oh, putting somebody else indeed. I believe in okay, so in my eyes, a owner should stay away for most politics in the server. That's what I believe. So as owner, I'm going to be like kind of handling, like I said, staff duties and general server problems, not city problems, because that's not my job as owner. So having an actual president that is going to be, doing the actual city problems, I'm not going to have no influence, no nothing with the actual president.
And as the owner, are you going to be running the Discord? And other than that, how do you plan to use that?
Okay, so yes, I am going to be running the Discord, and we're going to be using that to kind of broaden our horizon when it comes to reaching out to other servers, getting more people, like just marketing in general. Because with this, having a functioning and proper professional Discord will make people feel like the server is actually, stable and maintained, making more long-term players want to actually stay and grind and actually put more forth to the community.
Okay. And talking about people joining the server and like coming back or whatever, how do you plan to address the shark and goat problem?
The shark and goat problem has been but when goat is getting unbanned in like a week, so I'm going to be I'm gonna make him an offer that's dealing with real estate and seeing if he wanna take place in the key factor to the marketing industry in the server. And Shark is kind of gonna do his own path you know, when he gets unbanned and all that. So yeah, I have jobs for both of them when they come back.
Nice, nice. And since we're talking about people and stuff, there's been some stuff happening in town. Like, I've been obviously absent for a little bit, but I've been hearing about some gang wars between the street gangs and the mafia. How do you respond to this?
Well, to put it nice and simply, the wars between these two factions are not really, they're more of a nuisance than an actual gang, in my opinion, because the mafia is more of a gun trade, while the street gang, the ghost, is more of a, I can say, item traders. They specialize in golden apples and like illegal items that are not, contraband in the city. While obviously the mafia specializes in moving guns. So, like I said, they're more of a nuisance and a problem. But yeah, nothing our police force can't handle.
That's since you were talking about the police force, who's going to be running that? Because I know that started up recently.
The person that we all have appointed, all the staff has appointed chief in temporarily until we get actual, more democracy, is going to be LinkedIn Hero. He made a regiment, a couple of in a Discord server is going to be the main actor and police chief.
Okay. And on this, is the government system going to be, like, this is a little bit off topic, but government system going to be utopian or industrialist? Because some people have been asking.
Well, to keep it simply, is going to be neither. Mainly because the president currently is going to either be chanting or will. And we're going to kind of have a vote temporarily. We're going to have to see the president until basically more parties will spring up when more people start joining. But until, obviously, will is industrial, while chanting's utopian, I'm pretty sure. So depending on who becomes the president, is kind of depending on if it's utopian or industrial.
Okay. Thank you for coming on to today's show. And that's the ITER Show. Go Gold.